In this video, we will explore metric conversions. The metric system is based on the power of 10, and the following prefixes are going to make a unit either smaller or larger depending on which prefix we are using. So let's start by looking at the prefix milli. These prefixes can apply to any unit you would like. So you could select a unit of mass, you could select a unit of volume, length, any unit. And these prefixes will either make that unit larger or smaller. So let's take a look at milli, and I'm going to select a unit of mass, and I'll work with grams. So suppose that we are in a lab, we're trying to weigh something, and we are weighing that in grams. The prefix milli is saying that it is equal to 10 to the negative 3. So that means that 1 milligram is going to be equal to 10 to the negative 3 grams. Now, there are a couple of different ways that we can handle that. So we could just leave it like that and plug that into our calculator if we are doing a conversion. Or alternatively, we could recognize that if an exponent is negative, we could rewrite this as 1 over 10 to the positive 3. If we were to do that, then that means that 1 milligram is equal to 1 over 10 to the 3 grams. Now, if you don't like having the exponent in the denominator and you want to get rid of the fraction, what we could do is multiply both sides of the equation by 10 to the 3. And of course, anything you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. Now, on this side of the equation, we do have 10 to the 3 in the numerator and the denominator, so those will cancel out. That leaves us with 10 to the 3 milligrams are equal to 1 gram. So whenever you have a negative exponent like that, you can flip that around and make the exponent positive. Because effectively what this is saying is that milligrams are really, really small. In order to have 1 milligram fit into a gram, that gram would have to be 10 to the negative 3. Well, if milligrams are small, that means you can fit lots of them inside a gram. So you can fit 10 to the positive 3 milligrams in 1 gram. The other way that we can think about it is that 10 to the positive 3 is equal to 1,000. So what we're really saying is that 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams. Now, if we write it the other way around, 1 milligram is equal to 10 to the negative 3 grams. What we're really saying is if we were to take this from scientific notation into standard notation, I have to move a decimal place 3 places to the left. And then everywhere that there isn't a number, I have to fill that in as a 0. So this is really saying that 1 milligram is equal to 0.001 grams. So the milligram is very small in relation to a gram. It's only 0.001 of a gram. So it might be easier to just turn that around and say in 1 gram, there are 1,000 milligrams. And you can express this conversion as either of the two ways. It really doesn't matter. The math will work out the same way. It's really a matter of preference and what you feel comfortable with. Let's try this with kilograms. Going to use a unit of grams. Let's say we're still working with mass, but now we want to explore the kilo. So 1 kilogram is going to be equal to 10 to the positive 3 grams. And that just comes from the prefix of kilo. Kilo means 10 to the positive 3. So that means 1 kilogram is equal to 10 to the positive 3 grams. Because this is a positive exponent, you don't really need to manipulate it in any way. You can just leave it the way that it currently is. It's already in its simplest format. Or you could recognize that 10 to the positive 3 is equal to 1,000. So this is saying that 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. Whereas 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams. Now that we have both of those conversions, what we could do is convert milligrams into kilograms or vice versa. So let's try that. Suppose that we want to convert 0.000583 kilograms into milligrams. Notice that for both of them, the unit that they have in common is gram. So what we could do is convert kilograms into grams first, and then convert grams into milligrams. And initially we saw that 1 kilogram is equal to 10 to the positive 3 grams, or we could write this as 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. We also saw that 1 gram is equal to 10 to the positive 3 milligrams, or 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams. Alternatively, we could have used the other version and said that 1 milligram is equal to 10 to the negative 3 grams, because milli means 10 to the negative 3. And if we wrote it that way, we could say 1 milligram is equal to 0.001 gram. So I'm going to do this conversion all three of the ways, and you'll see that it's going to get us the exact same answer. So let's try this one first. So I am going to start with the number that is listed up here. I will just write that out there, the unit that it currently has. And the first thing I need to do is convert the kilograms into grams. Well, here kilograms are in the numerator, which means they have to go into the denominator in order to be able to cancel out. And if we look at our conversions here, we see that 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. So I will place 1 kilogram in the denominator and 1,000 grams into the numerator. Now that kilograms are diagonal, they cancel out and our units are currently in grams. The next thing I'm going to do is take the grams into milligrams. And now we have a couple of options. We could use the version on the left or the version on the right. Let's try the one on the left first. Since grams here are in the numerator, I'm going to have to put grams in the denominator in order for those to cancel out. And we see based on our conversion that there is 1 gram in 1,000 milligrams. So I will write 1,000 milligrams in the numerator and the grams will cancel out. Now our unit is left in milligrams and we can plug in our values. Okay, this gets me 583 milligrams. Let's try it using the other conversion factor. So same sort of thing, I'm going to start with 583 kilograms. And the first thing I want to do is convert that into grams. Since kilograms are in the numerator, they have to be in the denominator in order for kilograms to cancel out. And in 1 kilogram, we have 1,000 grams. Now our kilograms cancel out and we have grams. The next thing we're going to do is take the grams into kilograms, but this time I'm going to use this version. So in that case, grams will go in the denominator because here in their numerator, they need to cancel out. And we see that there are 0.001 grams in 1 milligram. And now the grams will cancel out and we are left in milligrams. And if you plug that in, you still get 583 milligrams. Alternatively, we could have left these as exponents. So if we had used that version, then in the first problem, we would have, instead of writing 1,000 milligrams, we would have written 10 to the 3 milligrams. And once you plug that in, you would get to the same answer. If we were to use the version on the far right, in that scenario, if we kept it as exponents, then here we would say that in 1 milligram, we have 10 to the negative 3 grams. If you do this, then it's very important that you keep the exponent in parentheses when you plug it into your calculator. Otherwise, the operations are going to get all mixed up and the answer may be incorrect.